All right, moving away from Nigeria, let's move to Mali, where its military authorities have announced that a presidential election will happen to usher in civilian rule, and this will be held in February 2024. The announcement was made after a detailed timetable for reforms and legislative and presidential polls was adopted following consultations between the interim government and political stakeholders. The first and second rounds of the presidential election are scheduled to take place in 2 years' time, while the first and second rounds of the legislative elections will be held in October and November 2023, respectively.
A constitutional referendum will also be held in March 2023 ahead of local elections scheduled for June 2023. Recall that on the 6th of June, the junta unilaterally announced that the transitional period had been set for 24 months. The poll timetable was released ahead of the summit of the Economic Community of West Africa States, which is expected to make a decision on whether to lift or extend sanctions it imposed on Mali in January. Now, we, of course, have been following up with this story in Mali. They had been given a deadline to announce when they would transition to civilian rule. This was about a month ago. We did take the story here where, they had notified us that it will take 39 months to transition to a civilian rule. Yeah, which is quite a while, but it is good news that we have a structure for them. There's a plan now, and we're hoping that the plan is they're able to follow through with the plan and hand over to the civilian rule. Of course, ECOWAS has been breathing down their neck, which is why this is happening.
And hopefully, they also do not get close to 2024 and, have a rethink. And of course, like you mentioned, ECOWAS has been on their necks, but I think there's also a lot that needs to be learned, that we're still not sure about, that is playing out here. Why it's taking so long, why they're taking, this much time to, of course, hand back to civilian rule. If you remember, Assimi Goïta, I think that's his name, had, similarly stepped down before and then changed his mind, and retook, power. So, the whole of Mali and, of course, ECOWAS needs to try and understand what plans these persons really have for the country. Are there other things that are playing out? Why do they need this much time, for elections? What do they hope to achieve in that time? And, and then, as leaders that they currently are, can they steer Mali in the right direction, or they're really just holding forth until then?
We certainly will be wanting answers to these questions and seeing this replicated in other parts of the continent. We know that Mali is not the only country that is still under military rule. There are many other countries, and the ECOWAS is constantly doing what it can to ensure that power is being returned back to the hands of the citizens.